Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with two folks from Servicengine. We have Cara Butler and Sarah Miller. How are y'all doing today?
Great.
Great. Glad to be here.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
it's
us, Ben.
Yeah,
it's
thanks for
awesome
having us.
having y'all. And you know what? We gotta say, I hope that Karen Cygal is doing okay. She couldn't make it today, but our prayers are with her as she's recovering. But yeah, we're excited to be here today with each other.
Yes, and
Thanks
so
for going
thankful.
easy on me with
Yeah, for
with a
sure.
Hey, it ain't
little bit of
over
prep.
yet. Okay, I may. Hey, I'm sharpening my pencil. I even got a pencil for this just to
Oh
sharpen
no.
it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. We're
But
just playing around.
kudos to Sarah for jumping in like a trooper. So,
Yes, it's great to have you, Sarah, here. And get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Um, Let us know who you are, where you are, how hot is it where you are. Sarah, where are you in the world right now, and how hot is it?
I am in Denver, Colorado, right here. So we're here in the Southwest, and I want to say it's got to be in the high 90s out there right now. I have not stepped outside to check since this morning. So
I gotta hydrate just thinking about that.
seriously, well, you have to do that up here in the high desert anyway, which I tell everyone who comes to visit. Drink your water, stay hydrated, avoid the altitude sickness. So I have a whole shtick about it.
So you say high desert. Where in Colorado is high desert? I don't know what that means. What is the definition of a high desert?
It's basically a regular desert, but higher. So it's essentially just the higher up in altitude that you go. So Denver, of course, is mile high, so 5,280 feet, so a little bit higher than I think where you guys are in
Yep.
Texas.
Yep.
And yeah, altitude sickness strikes, and the only way to prevent it is to stay hydrated. So
I get altitude sickness every time I go to Colorado, like anywhere like above Denver. Denver, I'm usually fine for a couple days, but like if I
yeah,
go up to like Vail or
wreck or something. Yes.
yeah, I get it bad.
You got
I,
to start a week early. So
yeah,
if you were traveling to visit me, I would have already informed you of this, as my team knows.
yeah. No,
I
I had
I
a really bad situation on Pikes Peak one time, and I told
Oh,
you this, Sarah, but it was, I mean, and I thought I was, bad on the way up, going through on that railroad train, which was amazing, by the way. But when I got up there were lots of people just laid out. I wasn't the only one.
no, no, you definitely were not.
Yeah, I remember one of my first client events. There was an RMC that was hosting a client event at the Ritz Carlton Bachelor Gulch. I guess that's like in the Vail area or whatever.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And I flew into Denver. I drove on up to the Gulch, and we got there, and it was like a little champagne, happy hour to start, whatever. I might have had one glass of champagne. I went up to my room. I was like, I'm just feeling tired. I woke up feeling like I was gonna die. I went downstairs the next day with every ounce of strength I could muster. I got in my car and I drove down to Denver. I checked into a Hampton Inn and I slept for like 2 days. I didn't even
Hmm.
stay at the
Yeah,
Ritz. It was
yeah.
Oh,
terrible.
it
It
is. Once
was
it
bad.
starts, it's impossible.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's so tough. So that's all hydration, huh?
It
That is,
is.
it is. And you have to start early. One for one glass of champagne, one water. That's the rule, Ben.
Well, I'm going to Phoenix on Thursday, so I need to start hydrating now for that too. It's about a buck
Probably.
10 there. Kara, where in the world are you and how hot is it?
It's pretty hot, especially hot because my air conditioner went out last night. And I'm in Houston, in the Houston area, so that's major bad
Are
news when
you
that
in a
happens.
tub right now? Are
That's
you
why
in a
I'm like
cold tub?
rosy. Yeah, trying to get ready for today, and the air conditioning, repair guy was here, and I was paying him while Sarah and I were getting ready. But I've got a fan, and we had some portable ACs that you can't live without in Houston. So I was okay, but it's not fun.
Wow.
Absolutely
Wow.
not.
Not
Get in
fun.
the comments, y'all. Let us know where in the world you are and how hot is it. I'm in Dallas. It's 100 on the nose right now. It's steamy, but I will be in Phoenix where it'll be 110 on Thursday for the ARA. and I'm already dreading it. They told me to wear like shorts and a Hawaiian t-shirt. I'm like, it just didn't feel right. So I'm gonna wear like a jacket. I'm just gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I don't think, yeah, I think you want to take their advice, Ben.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have the
Yeah, no
calves
jacket.
for it. I haven't been doing the leg raises. I'm not ready for this. I don't know
With
what
as
to
many
do.
conferences as you go to, I know you've got the calves for this.
I mean,
Oh,
we'll
for
see. We're about to
sure.
find out, okay?
For sure.
Calves sponsored by Servicengine. Hi, Karen Gerba checking in. Hi, ladies.
I know. Hi,
Pittsburgh
everybody.
70s. Pennsylvania State today at Oakmont. Okay, Pittsburgh 70s. 70s sounds gorgeous.
Oh, that
right?
sounds
does sound
so
perfect.
wonderful.
Oh man, Sharon. Hi, Karen.
Hi,
Sarah. Super
Sharon.
excited to see both of you. We love Sharon.
We do
Yeah,
love
we do.
Sharon. Sharon and I went to high school together. She's a Dulles Viking too.
No.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Do y'all have like a
That's
fight song? Your
ultrasound.
Dulles Viking fight song or something?
I
It's
don't
like the
know.
Norwegians, like "Roo," you do the
We
rowing.
had one, but I don't think I would be able to remember it.
Okay,
But
all
we
right.
did have one. I know that much.
Sharon, get in the comments with the fight song. We'll sing it. Yasmin, hello from New Jersey, high 70s.
That sounds
Love it.
nice.
I
They've
know.
earned it there, New Jersey. They've had the weather
It's been warm.
bad there. So all the
It's been
snow and all that stuff, yeah. And now
Get
heat.
in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are, and how hot is it. Amanda checking in from Annapolis, Maryland, 86 and humid, severe storm watch.
Yikes. That's one thing you guys have that I don't have. You have to drink water here, but that's because we don't have any. So we don't get the humidity.
Yeah, we get the flash floods, and they get hurricanes down in Cara's neck of the
Yeah,
woods.
we do.
Yeah, yikes.
Daisy says, my downstairs AC went out last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
Twinsies.
twinsies, yeah. It happens. It's bad
AG
news.
double hockey sticks in Houston's. That's great.
Look, go Vikings, yeah.
Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are. Karen's golfing right now. Awesome. Daisy's in Houston today. HOT, hot.
Oh, wow. That is hot.
Hotston.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah. That is yeah. Anyway, get in the comments, y'all. We're asking questions here. We're chatting automation. We're having some fun with Sarah and Cara here. I want to hear a little bit about, and we're going to go all over the place here. So we're going to talk about fun stuff. We're going to talk about relo stuff. We're going to sweat together. It's going to be great. It's going to be like hot yoga over here. But I want to ask you about automation, though. This is like such a big kind of, I don't want to say it's a buzzword. It's just a trend. It's just, it's compelling us all right now in our businesses. We talk about AI, but a lot of it, automation to me seems like the most practical thing right now. Tell us about how automation is impacting the way that we work here in the relocation industry.
Well, I think the lack of automation is probably affecting us the most because you think that with all the technology out there, there's still a lot of people in our industry that are working off of spreadsheets. So
I hear that a lot, actually.
Everyone. And it's so as complicated as things are, and as much of, delicate, I guess you could say, the compliance piece of what we do is, it's tragic that we're still on spreadsheets. So we're working to fix that.
Why are we on spreadsheets still? Why can't we get off the spreadsheets? Why are we hooked on the Excel?
Exactly. And I'm an Excel junkie myself, so I don't want to diss Excel by any means, but I just feel like our industry has historically, we're not tech saturated, right? We're not like banking or healthcare where there are just all of these technology products right off the shelf. So the folks that have had access to technology and automation, either the barrier to entry is enormously high, or a lot of times you're stringing together tools across multiple different platforms, internal resources, your provider resources. And so I really feel like it's only in the last, 3 to 5 years that barrier to entry has really started to lower and make it, these automation tools a lot more available for just folks off the street, folks that don't have a mega sized program, right? These technology tools are valuable resources, particularly for those folks that are like the team of one,
For sure.
Well, but so people, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second, right? People are like, yeah, but I love my spreadsheet. It's got all my data. If I need something, I just add a column. I don't
Me
have to
too.
go to IT. I just say add a column. I used to work in a company and we would just, I would joke. It'd be like every Tuesday we'd add a column and all of a sudden we're on like BB, you know,
Exactly.
BC. And it's like, I didn't even know it went that far, honestly. So, you know, it's like maybe there should be a rule of thumb. If you got to use like a secondary alphabet, you know, you've probably gone
You
too
stop
far
already.
with it. So,
You
Yeah.
but
probably
so,
have too
so
much of Excel.
there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
people out there that say you're gonna, you know, rip this spreadsheet out of my cold dead hands, you know. But what do you say to people like that?
Well,
It's a difficult question,
it is a
Kara.
different.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Go ahead, Sarah. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to mention that, one of the things that technology tools can bring is integration, right? Where all of these different data sources are coming together into one place. That can be its own growing pain, right? That can be just uncomfortable to go through that process because it's a lot easier sometimes. I'm over here, I have my little fiefdom, I do what I do, I add another column to my spreadsheet, I'm happy and happy as a clam over here. But now as soon as I have to bring data together, I've got to play nice in the sandbox. I've got to work with my internal people that maybe aren't taking direction from the global mobility team. I've got to be working with providers that have a lot of more clients than just me, right? That they're trying to satisfy. And
Yeah, and
so
I
as
can
much
imagine if they want to get something added, it's like, well, okay, listen, global mobility. On the one hand, we want you to like go through the proper channels, but on the other hand, I tell you, you're not a priority. You're like 86 on the IT steering committee list over here, you know. So it's
exactly.
like, so what's a global mobility, you know, professional program manager to do in that case?
Yeah. But
Totally
also,
agree.
spreadsheets are static. They're just information and data on a page. They don't really give you the opportunity to analyze that data in a way that a technology solution would. So, automating that and being able to report and analyze your data in a different way, can help programs make smarter decisions and faster decisions and, create a better employee experience, I think.
Totally.
This reminds me of a horror story I have. Can I ask? I'm just going to ask people that are watching right now. Tell me one spreadsheet horror story you have, if you have a spreadsheet horror story, or how you got off, how you kicked the sheet. You know, let me know how you got off the sheet. But I have a spreadsheet horror story. Can I share my spreadsheet horror story? Horror story.
Absolutely. We're dying.
Yeah, I was dying. So I started a business within a business about 10 years ago. We won't say where, whatever. And it was doing really well in the business. I mean, for a startup, it was an intrapreneurship, business in a business, right? And of course, when you do that, the first, you create a spreadsheet, right? I mean, everyone
Of
like
course.
that's when you
Yeah.
know you got a business. You got
Where
a
to
spreadsheet.
start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I created this business and we started putting our orders on this spreadsheet because this was a business that our core business did not do. Right. This is not something that we did. So we didn't have a system for it, whatever. So I just started a spreadsheet and, it always starts with last name, first name. That's column A, column B, right? Order number, right?
You've
And
seen
then
my
it just
spreadsheets.
yeah, and then it just revenue, and then cost item, cost item, cost item, cost item, profit margin, provider A, provider B, provider C, who are filling it. Yeah, I mean literally, and this is how it grows, right? Notes, right? These are the common fields, and it just kept growing until it was like BB, BC, BD, and this thing became a monster, and we ran our business on this for probably like 2 or 3 years. Our biggest client calls me up and they say, listen, Ben, you're handling a lot of volume for us right now. Can you send me a report on what you have? And so what did I do? I took the master spreadsheet and I deleted some columns, right? And I cut and I pasted, I sliced and I diced, right?
Oh,
I see already Sarah sees where this is
oh,
going,
Yeah.
right?
palpitations.
She sees where I'm going because now you're walking a tight wire, right? Because you can
Seriously.
either delete the original, God forbid, and the data is gone forever. And then you go to IT and you're like, recover this, please. And they're like, I don't know, bro, you deleted it. And then so I'm deleting, I'm cutting and pasting and all the thing, and I'm sorting and filtering, blah, blah. And then I end up saving that copy, and then I go and I send my client contact a copy of the spreadsheet for their review. And my operations manager calls me frantically like an hour later, and she's like, "You sent Joe the master version spreadsheet
Oh no.
with all of our client data, with all of our revenue, with all of our
no.
margins, with all of our
Oh.
downstream suppliers, with all of our clients' data, because it's multiple clients, right? So now it's their competitors' clients' data as well, transferee data, like the whole data, all the data I
All
have,
the data.
they
That
have
is,
all the data, everything I knew, forgot, and didn't even
your
know,
worst
they
nightmare.
got it.
Seriously.
And I
Yeah.
said, oh my God, what are we going to do? She's like, well, I already told your boss. And he said, I'm like, what? You told my, I was like, you told my boss, you work for me. And you told well, she's like, well, he needed to know. I'm like, he needed to know, but I needed to tell him once I got myself together. And I literally I thought I was going to get fired. Well, I thought maybe I'd die first, but then I'd get fired. Like at my funeral, they would fire me posthumously. And
It's not out of the question. It's not out of the
I
question
know,
of that
exactly.
being a
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah, and that was probably 10 plus years ago, before GDPR, before, clean desk policies, before, the things that says now I can actually get
ISOs and all
sued
of
for.
this.
Yeah. And back then it was just bad business, but now it's like illegal, right? And
Yeah.
so I was just, now you know what happened?
What did happen?
God blessed me that day. I tell you what, I was so scared. And then I remembered that 2 weeks prior, my client had sent me an attachment, and then right afterwards sent me an email saying, hey, please, this was sent in error. Please delete without reading. And then like in their tagline, like on their footer, was like, world's most ethical company. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know I could do that. So I emailed him. And I was like, hey, Joe, can you delete that without reading? It was sent in error. I'll get you the right copy. He's like, okay, yeah, no problem. I was like,
Saved your bacon.
Yeah, that was smart.
Man,
That
is
was smart
just
thinking.
so close, though.
Yes,
Oh
very
goodness.
close.
I thought I was dead.
But
So
you know what,
anyway,
Ben?
so yeah, that could happen.
That's such a great story, because you were talking before about how do you convince people, right? That these more automated solutions, even if they're available, it's not as easy as just adding a column. But these are the risks that
Yeah.
are out there, that just a person doing their very hardest work, right? They're not being malicious. They're not trying to expose data. They're working as hard as they can, but because we're human, risks happen, exposures happen. And that's where, just one thing that technology can provide you, besides, all of the efficiencies and the integration aspect too. So
Totally. Get in the comments, y'all. Do you have any spreadsheet horror stories or data, horror stories? I'm super curious. I know this is a safe space. Nobody will know. It's fine. We're all under NDA here. Okay.
that's right. There's nothing Relo loves more than telling our horror stories.
Yeah,
Right?
horror stories.
There's
There's a lot
That's how
of
we
it.
learn.
It is how we learn, yeah.
Jillian says any spreadsheet for me is a horror story.
There it is. I like that attitude.
This is great. Get in the comments, y'all. Let me know. Karen's got a question. Let's take a question here. If you've got questions also for Sarah and Cara, get in here. Karen says, tell me more how Servicengine works with RMCs and corporate clients and any supplier at a high level.
Absolutely.
That's a good
Do you want to
question.
take this one, Cara?
Sure. Well, Servicengine has been in the technology industry, in the mobility industry, for almost 30 years now. And our core clients really actually started as RMCs and helping them in a multiple different ways. Some of them are using Servicengine to kind of operate their back office and manage all of their clients and all of their clients' policies. And, so they're using it that way. And then we also have a corporate client portal and an employee portal that some RMCs are using as their employee facing and corporate facing portal. And then a lot of our corporate clients are using it to manage as a case management, an end-to-end case management system. So we do integrate with RMC suppliers. We integrate with our corporate clients' internal systems and their suppliers as well. And that could be an RMC, it could be tax provider, immigration, all of their internal tools and external partners. So we don't provide those services like our partnership with Global IQ. They are a data provider. They manage data. They're experts in data, but we're utilizing their services and their data to to enhance the platform and what our clients can do with the platform, but we're not a data provider. So we're creating partnerships like Global IQ and more to be announced soon that do that.
And I love how, oh, I'm so sorry, Ben.
No,
Go
please,
for it.
Sarah.
I was just going to mention, I love how Karen mentioned suppliers here too, because we can't forget our providers, right? And I think, just tying this back to what you mentioned before, Ben, about convincing people, right, that technology solutions are valuable and that there's actually benefit to be had here. One of the things that we don't like to do is be a barrier to engaging with your trusted providers. And so we're going to meet those providers where they are. And sometimes that means building really robust APIs together to transfer data back and forth, and we're all just happy working in our own systems. And other times for maybe smaller providers or folks that don't have, the palette to take on huge projects, sometimes that means just facilitating that work in other ways that aren't necessarily integration driven. So I just think you really have to think about all of the verticals of our industry when you think about, what technology can provide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I had a question about that. Karen, you bring up a really good point. Get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear your questions for Sarah and Cara from Servicengine. But as she talked about suppliers, and I know Karen's a supplier here, as a former supplier myself, I was always curious about ways that we integrate with our RMC partners through their systems. And I've worked with some where it was just a hard stop. We don't do that. We don't know. We don't have the sophistication or the API or whatever, because it's a
Exactly.
proprietary homegrown system. Or we have that, no problem. But then the other side, integration's a problem. So I'm curious to you, to ask you, kind of state of the supplier industry. What percent of suppliers are really ready to integrate with their RMC partners, in your opinion? I know this isn't empirical necessarily, but anecdotally, how many of us are really ready to plug in?
That's such a great question, Ben. And I think a lot more now. I don't have, the physical numbers. I'll have to check
Nobody,
my notes,
we don't
right?
fact check people on this
Exactly,
show. Okay, we
but
just conjecture is
so
fine.
many more than in the past. I think there was a lot of talk in this industry, thinking in the kind of 8 to 5 years ago, a lot of talk about building one team in service of the corporate client, right? And that all of us are working together and we're here to provide the best types of solutions for this corporate. And we talked a lot about that in conferences and at work and things like that, but I didn't see a lot of evidence of that in technology investment.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it's a completely different situation. The people who are coming to us and talking to us are 100% ready to not only talk about integration and how can we solve these problems, but actually invest, because it's time and resources and building these out of the box integration tools to actually, put their money where their mouth is, and be ready to service partners in that, or service our corporate partners in that way.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it also provides those smaller kind of mom and pop suppliers, those downstream suppliers that are small that you were mentioning, an opportunity to not have to invest in tech, not have to invest in APIs and things like that. And I think that's a big advantage for an RMC or a big client, because that means that they get to focus on continuing to provide the good service that they've been doing, and that they want to keep providing without having to change what they're doing or invest in something that they don't have the funds for.
Well, that's a really big point, and a really big positive, I would think, for buying something that's kind of off the shelf, geared towards having these plugins and these APIs, as Karen's question is here, versus when you develop something proprietary, you're kind of on an island, and you're kind of like thinking up the best way to do it yourself. And sometimes it's better than what's out there, but a lot of times it just doesn't talk to other people's stuff, and we live in a big integrated ecosystem nowadays, right? And no one of us is an island, right? If we're an island, that means we have no customers, so we're not.
Right,
It's such a good point, Ben. And I think, to that point, let those providers be the experts in that business. It takes so much for an organization just to put out a technology that's like bargain basement. Baseline level of requirements, what every single person needs out of the box, it takes a lot of investment to build something like that. So are you investing your technology, investments and infrastructure into just getting by, just enough to be able to answer an RFP question? Or are you investing in something that sets you apart in whatever services that you provide? And what we're seeing as we're, working with all of these different types of providers is that, let others who are technologists do the baseline and let us go do the bells and whistles that are unique and set us in our market differentiators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really interesting point there. And I want to come back to that. But get in the comments here with questions. If you've got questions here for Sarah and Cara, I'm not going to stop saying Sarah and Cara. I'm sure you get it.
We even have
We
a
do.
Tara on our team.
We
so
do.
It's
We've
really
got Sarah,
crazy.
Tara.
Maybe a Dara,
I know. It's a requirement when we hire,
Yeah, it is.
That's hilarious. Okay, get in the comments, y'all. Let us know what questions you have. Karen's got another follow-up. Do you API with suppliers for services?
Yeah, we do. It's not the only way. I think, as Sarah was mentioning, we're going to meet everybody where they are. But APIs are certainly a way. There are other methods of capturing those and creating those data flows between systems. It may not be an API. And Sarah's more versed in maybe kind of what some of those other options are. But there's lots of ways that we can do it inexpensively for those smaller providers, for sure.
Absolutely, because a lot of times I find that, if maybe it is a smaller provider or doesn't have the, wherewithal to invest in a big technology and type of integration, then they end up getting the short end of the stick, right? And now they're the ones having to log into 4 portals in order to get their data or deliver reports to various people. And that doesn't add efficiencies. That probably doesn't make your costs go down. So then you're not able to maybe, offer the most advantageous pricing to those corporates. And so to Cara's point, there's FTIs, there's embedded links and credentialed access. So there's a lot of ways that we can facilitate that automation and that data flow, based on whatever capabilities each provider or each corporate is, or each RMC is kind of, where they're at that moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep these questions coming, y'all. This is a really interesting conversation. I think it's so apropos to what we're doing now. Meredith Morris, what's up, Mer? Checking in over here. I see you. Hey, Ben and Cara, another Houstonian here.
Yeah.
Yes, what Sarah said, companies are looking for technology to support automation. I feel like AI is driving many of these conversations.
You read our notes.
What are your thoughts around the AI driving these conversations?
Cara, I know you've got a great one on this.
Yeah, I think, of course, everybody's talking about AI right now.
A little bit. I've heard of it. Yeah.
Just a little bit. And,
once or twice.
Of course, it's changing the way that we work. It's making us all productive, more productive than we've ever been. It's just, it's a great tool. Some people are still afraid of it. Some people are embracing it. So it depends on which side of the fence that you're on. But I think from a Servicengine perspective, I think our kind of vision is that, yes, it's great to provide maybe a chat bot or something that goes in kind of in that direction or in that method. But we really want to help clients own and structure their own data to get ready to where AI is going next. And that's in, helping organizations make decisions, make recommendations. And that's really the next phase. And I think the foundation of that is owning your own data first. So you have the ability to manage it and structure it how you're going to need it.
I feel like there's a big push towards owning the data, to your point. Are you seeing that in the industry?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's certain industries, both like think about banking, where it's just a fundamental requirement, or certain locations, Europe, where it is a fundamental assumed requirement that corporates are going to own their own data, and that only the barest bit of scrubbed information is going to be shared with those providers. So absolutely, that's the trend. But you can't build these AI tools. it's much easier to build these AI tools when all of that data has already been aggregated and structured, and really the AI responses, right? What it's able to do is only as good as the data that it works from. And so for us, we're always trying to move left. It always starts with how do we get all of that information together into something that actually can be leveraged by the AI agents.
Right. And then they have to access that database. And, how do you create? I mean, do you create integrations with, is it Claude? Is it Copilot? Do you do them all? Like, what's the philosophy there? What's best practice, would you say, right now?
Gosh.
Oh gosh. I certainly wouldn't want to
You thought I was
say
going to take it easy, but I brought my sharp pencil.
focus on AI.
Yeah, that's a sharp one.
We're a Microsoft shop, so we tend to, lean more towards the co-pilots, and we're also a data privacy first shop. And so we are always going to err on the side of protection and what's the word? Just being cautious, right? With how to approach those types of things, knowing that, we've seen all the cool things that it can actually do. Risk reduction is critical as part of
And
this.
I think a lot of folks really lean towards Microsoft in that way. I mean, it was just like kind of during the pandemic when we first got on Zoom, and then everyone's like, "Well, hold on, we need to be on Teams because Teams." People were like Zoom bombing and like, which is like, okay, whatever, who cares? But like Teams was like the more compliant and the more like professional, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like kind of Copilot is there too, maybe not as nimble or, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles maybe that some of the other, large language models have, but it's kind of the more safer and the more kind of down the middle kind of one. I actually just read an article today about Claude. People on Reddit are discovering, sensitive and proprietary information on Claude, whether it be pitch decks or, health data for, individuals' health data, things that people put into Claude thinking they were having a private conversation, but somehow has become indexable by search engines. And it's now, I didn't read the article super thoroughly. I don't know if it was, cited properly. I mean, you always take this with a grain of salt, but that is the fear I think that people have when they're running an enterprise, that the data that they put in is going to be somehow exposed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think, I heard recently on a panel about even corporations having to be careful about what their suppliers are using, and that they can't be using something different than what they're using. So there's a whole, list of items out there that we still have to tackle. So I don't think we're not there yet.
That'll be interesting. You fill out an RFP, maybe it's next year, right? And they say, okay, well, what large language model do you use? Are you using, Claude? Are you using Copilot? Are you using Chat? What are you using? And getting, I can't imagine, like, maybe you get disqualified because you're using the wrong language model, that would
absolutely. Well, and there's a new ISO certification for the AI pieces too, which I think a lot of people were certainly looking into it. So a lot of, technology providers are at least putting our arms around this so that we've got some standards to work from. It's been a bit of the wild, wild west, it feels like, up until now,
It really has been. Yeah, well, as we're racing towards the to conquer the frontier, compliance and stuff seems to kind of go out the window in the name of innovation. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know what questions you have, whether it be about AI or integration. Really curious what you're seeing out there. Meredith says, I love my AI agents, Ben. When it comes to companies and AI tools, the corporations a lot of time drive the access to AI and how it is used. I've seen some pretty cool internal tools for global mobility teams. Very
so
interesting.
True. But that can come at a cost, right? So a lot a larger program that has a lot more resources where they're able to string together, access different internal databases? Or is this someone that's already done the work to aggregate their data? So there's a lot in our mind that goes into building that solid foundation of data privacy, of, data understanding, data aggregation, before you can even kind of start thinking about the cool things that you can do with it.
Yeah.
Hit that like button, get in the comments. Y'all want to hear your questions here. We got a question from Karen. Karen's asking about let's see, we are working more with RMCs and household goods providers and tech relo providers on a full API for our auto logistics services. The way the industry is going in our space, we help our partners to get there. No more manual email orders. It's so old school, Ben. You're right on. No more manual
Absolutely.
email
OMG.
orders. Wait,
Manual
what's happening to
email
my
orders.
authorizations? I like to,
Right?
I get them and I like to print them off, and I take them over here to Susie's desk and I say, hey, we got another one. What's going on with these? Where are these going? Tell me you're not taking my email authorizations away from me.
So true.
Yeah, for sure.
Are these going away? Are these going away? Are they always going to be email authorizations? What do you see happening there?
Well,
That's where I feel like we have to meet our providers where they are. If this
Yeah.
is a small mom and pop type of provider in a super rural area, in a country that's difficult to do business in, and they don't have the resources to invest in API or FTI type of technology, an email order may be the most efficient way to engage that type of provider. Now, there's a lot of ways to make an email order better than just a piece of paper on someone's desk, right? With credentials and various kinds of access layers and stuff like that. But I just don't see that we can ever say that that's going to completely go away when you think of the breadth of types of providers that we work with across the industry.
Mhm.
Yeah,
As much
that'd
as
be
we want to move away from that as much as possible.
right.
So.
Well, it's interesting because you have these inboxes, right? And it's, I set up an inbox that might be like, orders at glomo.com, and my RMC sends it from, authorizations at rmc.com, and they send it over, and there's a receipt or you can look at the sent
Read
folder, and
receipt.
it's been sent, on this time and date by this counselor, and I get it, and I've got it in my box, and I can wake up in the morning and see I've got 5 new ones in here, whereas if it just APIs over, into my system, how do I know it was sent? How do I know it was received? Is it acknowledged? Normally the coordinator will respond, hey, thanks for the order, on it, whatever, right? And it's like, we have to really trust the system when, a lot of those steps do seem redundant, right? Why not just wake up and it's in the queue of things to be processed in the morning? But there's some comfort around the sending and receiving and acknowledgement step. How do we get there? Like, how do we get our teams there?
Yeah, so true.
I think that takes time, but also technology, getting technology in the hands of everyone, basically. And you just described the process perfectly, Ben, when you said, that you received the email, but then you also got the receipt and you had all the tracking information. So you got the email, which was your comfort zone, but also all of that data is being tracked in the system. It's reportable. It's, you can analyze it, you can confirm it. Anybody can see that it's been done, not just you. If something happens to you, everyone can go in and see that it was done. So that's the benefit of that. But the emails don't have to go away.
Yeah, as a mover, I come from the moving business. I did that about 15 years before I got into this. But we would miss an order in summer, right? Things are flying around, and the RMC would email us and say, hey, what's going on with Miss Jones here? What's her pack date gonna be? And we're like, who's Miss Jones? Sounds lovely. What about her? And they were like, oh, this email. And then they forward you the email, right? From 3 weeks ago that you're supposed to have gotten, right? And they're like, see below. And you're like, oh crap, who was supposed to be man in the inbox at that time? And then so you have like this like proof, right? This proof point, right? But then to argue the other side of it is, yeah, but some of those authorizations get stuck in spam, right? Yes. Or they get deleted by accident, or I printed this off and I brought it over to Susie and I said, hey, here's a new file for Ms. Jones. See, I posted on it too. That's legit, right?
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real. And then you lay it on her desk, right? And then all of a sudden it goes, whoo, and it just falls right off the desk and slides between the cubicles, and all of a sudden it's gone for, dead to the world, right? So there's 2 sides to this. I think we think we're losing something, but sometimes we've been losing stuff all along.
I believe that 1,000%. And this is not a new challenge. This is not an AI challenge. This has been something that I think if you ask anybody who works in technology implementations, this is a natural part of rolling out tech, is change management and
Mhm.
building trust with the constituents who are going to be, using this technology, and getting their input, right? Get their insights, have them become super users, and have them become kind of invested in these types of projects. And I think if you can articulate what they're going to get out of it, here's the pain point you're not going to feel anymore, here's the efficiency you're not going to, you're going to be able to do this faster, better, cheaper. It really is a very compelling message, and people get there. They really do.
Mhm.
Yeah, get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Let us know what you think. Ask questions. We got a few more minutes for it here. But I want to ask you along those lines, and look at Jillian checking in. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for today's episode. I love when multiple people are on, sharing differing opinions and experiences, helping Ben out. He's really terrible at this. It makes the conversation so dynamic and fun. I read between the lines. I've been working with Jillian for 4 years. I know what she means by that.
Leading the witness.
But what are some of the maybe best practices for leaders out there who are going through a technology change? We all are, right? And it is so much change management. It's such a hearts and minds kind of a thing. What are some of the tips and tricks that you've kind of learned over the years when you try to implement change in an organization?
Absolutely.
Yes, Sarah.
Okay, yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, first and foremost, I think it starts with engaging the right partner. Not all technology solutions are the same. And I'm not talking about the platform and the things that it does, the feature set that it does. Different organizations work in different ways. And that's okay. We don't expect to be the best technology solution for every single organization in the world. Most of them, but not all of them. Right?
The good
But-
ones, yeah.
Exactly. The cool ones, the cool kids. But truly, like, getting to know not just what are the bells and whistles, oh, look at this cool AI bot and what it did, but who are you working with? What is the support structure ongoing? How much is it able to be tailored to your organization? How does it not only add efficiencies now, but create sustainable track for continued growth in efficiencies, continued acceleration? So I just think really pop open that hood and get to know the organization and the companies more, as much as the products themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I've just, like, my decibel level went up so much because I'm very
You're
passionate
passionate
about that
That's
about
one.
what, yeah. That's why I was
I
like,
hope
Sarah,
everything's-
take this one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I made a post about this recently. It might have been vulgar. I don't remember. But I was talking to the president of a relocation management company, and they were going through a tech change, and any tech change is also kind of like a behavior change, right? Because now your process
So
changes.
true. Oh man.
And I think that's what we forget.
Absolutely.
It's not just a new logo; it's like a new behavior and process.
Mhm.
And they were really struggling with it. And one of the things that they were kind of venting, and one of the things that they vented to me was, it's really hard because everyone's remote right now. And normally I would get everyone in a conference room for a half day. I'd buy bagels and we'd bring in the provider and we'd hash it out. And then maybe the provider would kind of shadow us for a day or two and I kind of do some armchair stuff and, solve some issues, but because my stakeholders are out of the office, also kind of not seeing eye to eye all the time on things, right? Because that happens, especially when we're siloed, especially when we don't see each other and get the smile when we take every email the wrong way. And so what advice would you give for a RMC that maybe has a distributed workforce and is trying to navigate change like this? How do you get everybody on the same page when they're not in the same room?
That's
Such
a good question, Sarah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
really worked on that one.
Yeah.
Practicing that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's just interesting you say that because I'm just thinking of several of our implementations we're working on right now where that is the exact scenario. And I think the areas where I've seen it be the most successful, the message has come long before we're ever in the room, right?
Okay.
And the message almost starts with, what's going wrong for you right now, team? Where are you being challenged? I know we're not being efficient. You tell me, I'm the leader because I'm not down here in the weeds every day. What could we be doing better, more efficiently? Where are you bleeding out? And I think if the and a good implementation project starts with not only, revenue objectives and I want, business that we want to gain, but also pain points that we want to solve. I think if the message starts with, here are the problems that we are going to solve in the world for you, and you're going to be incorporated, you're going to be part of this this process, that really lays a solid foundation, through the rest of the implementation.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great stuff there. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know how we're doing out there. If you've got questions, we've got time. We got time for maybe a couple more questions. Hit that like button. I see Yasmin. I see Zeta out there. I see you, Meredith. I'm going to get to all of you here.
Awesome.
Zeta says, Sarah had a good point. I recently read an article related to old technologies that are still very much in use in certain countries. Ooh.
Even certain countries that don't do SMS texting. So how do you do your MFA? How do you do your multi-factor authentication to log in if you don't have text capability?
What are they on, WhatsApp or something?
Yeah, exactly. You have to start looking at all of these other options. So she's absolutely right. And I would go as far as saying that it's not just in certain countries. It's in this old country right here that there can be, because we historically haven't been a technology robust industry, there can be a lot of kind of hand wavy, look at our neat tech, and in the background it's MacGyvered together with duct tape and string. So it goes back to kind of pop the hood, what's really under there.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Zeta. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Love the support. She's a great friend of the show. Yasmin says, how can tech help mobility professionals move beyond administration to influence workforce planning?
Well, I think that owning your own data, again, I'm going to go back to that, is a start for that, because that is where technology is going. It's going to, from being just tracking activity, kind of a static database of information, to actually help guiding decisions that are going to enhance the program, or enhance how you're making decisions regarding workforce planning. So it all starts there, but that is where we're headed. That's where technology is headed. But it does start with kind of owning your own data and being able to use that data to make those decisions.
And I think that helps you be more of a trustworthy resource for your business partners that are out there, for C-suite folks that are out there. Anecdotal stories only go so far. They want to see numbers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it starts with being able to put your hands on those numbers and feel confident that those are accurate, and that you're then able to add your schmear of expertise on top of that to then inform, guide, make recommendations.
Yeah, the numbers can tell a story, especially when you have the right numbers and you present the data well, and you can kind of visualize the data properly. And then, what I've seen happen is folks go in there with great data, and then they show it to smart people, and those smart people start drawing their own conclusions as well.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And doing that, it's a little unpredictable, but in doing that, they also start to buy in, and they start to become part of the solution. And so now you're on the same side of the table trying to solve these issues. And by solving it, you're gaining investment, you're gaining trust, you're gaining credibility. Whereas in the past, I think we've suffered, as an industry from some of those things, not having some of those things, right?
Not being able to put your hands on it. I was just on a panel with Jennifer Dietrich at our Rocky Mountain Spring Conference. And she had a great point, because she's been at Methanex for I think 13 years, over a decade for sure. And she talked about how the beginning of her career there, it was about getting those numbers in front of these business partners and being able to build the credibility and become that reliable resource. And now all those folks have moved up, and now they are the C-suite, they are the decision maker, and the path has been laid. Now, she made the point, you can never stop, right? You have to keep staying out there, keep staying engaged with all those folks. But it starts with being able to tell a compelling story with something that you can sink your teeth into.
And I think there has been a shift. We're seeing, it's not, people aren't happy with their spreadsheets. They do realize now that they want a technology tool to get them where we just where you just described, to a more strategic place within their organization. And so they want technology, but a lot of times they're struggling with budgets to be able to find it. And that's kind of where, the partnerships that we're building, we want to build partnerships that are going to bring a real return on investment when they do purchase technology. And so that's kind of our vision. But the tide has turned. I mean, people want technology. Now it's fine. It's just, how do we get it? What do I need to do to get it? So we need to help people be able to make that argument and build that case.
Yeah, this is great stuff, y'all. Get in the comments. Let us know how we're doing out here. Hit that like button. Appreciate all of you. Meredith says, change is hard for any organization, and really embracing new ideas and technology is a challenge for some. Some of us took typing class in high school. I was one of those people. Wait, look at us raise our hand. And now yes, present. I'm not in the bathroom. I'm not late. Now we are doing vibe coding and building tech tools and training agents. Crazy. Yeah, it is
Totally.
crazy.
We were just in a panel a couple of months ago where a guy built an agent right there in the room with everyone. So those things, hugely compelling, hugely powerful.
I feel so behind. I'm gonna start building agents.
I don't believe that, Ben.
I don't either, Ben.
I think that might be a little fib.
I'm just a pretty face. I tell people this all the time. I just make y'all look
talent.
good. That's it. Just the talent. That's right. Hey, speaking of which, let's have a little fun. You want to have a little fun with me today?
Sure.
Let's go. Sarah and Cara, let's play a game. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
We are going to play a game we like to call overrated, underrated. Okay? Do you know how to play the game overrated, underrated? Do you know how to play the game?
I think so.
That's what a lot of people think. We'll see. We'll see here. Okay. Overrated, underrated. The game is simple. 2 rules. 1, I will give you a topic and you tell me if it is either overrated or underrated. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And
Ready.
then I'll tell you if you're right.
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Sarah, you get it. See, I always say this.
Ready. All right.
The smart people get it. That's right. That's right. It's very subjective, but you know what? I'm the decider. So here we go. All right, overrated, underrated. First one up here. Automation, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Underrated, except by me. I'm the process junkie of the world, so I live and breathe and die by this word right here. This is the keystone to basically everything I try to do on a day-to-day basis.
True.
So
this
everyone
is very
else
true.
is underrated, but
This
I
is very
think it's
true.
great.
I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to say, I know you sell it, but do you use it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We're big into process improvement here at Servicengine, for sure.
For sure.
Automation,
Absolutely.
overrated, underrated. This is tough for me. You know what? I'm gonna go underrated. I'm gonna give you an underrated on that one. All right, 1 point for Sarah and Cara here. Okay. All right, let's see. That one was easy. That one was easy. The next ones they might get a little harder. Okay, a little more divisive. Okay. Get in the comments. Let us know how we're doing. So far, so good. She says, yes, that's great. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate you. All right, next one up. Overrated, underrated. Vespa scooters.
Oh.
Underrated.
Cara. Underrated. Yeah. I have to say underrated.
It's 100 degrees outside. It's 100. That's 100. And when it's not, it's pouring rain. Okay. Oh my God. Now, tell me about your.
Ben, that you said Vespa, because when I say scooters nowadays to folks, they think I'm talking about the little lime scooters.
Like birds.
Yes, the little terror bikes on the sidewalk, and I'm like, no, these are like
I'm a
motorcycles.
classy lady. Okay. Tell me about your love for Vespa scooters, Sarah.
So I ride vintage Vespas. I am in an all-girls scooter club here in Denver, and last weekend was actually just our big annual scooter rally called Mile High Mayhem. So we were out, doing rides, having raffles, having a few beverages, and just kind of exploring the city on the bikes, which is always great to get. It's kind of small goofy community. It's great to get everybody back together each year.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you say, what did you call it? A scooter club? What'd you call it?
Yeah, scooter club. Yes.
So it's not a
gang.
biker gang. It's a scooter
gang,
club.
yeah.
Well, we're pretty
Who's
tough.
asking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We do have matching jackets. So
That's cool.
I feel like that's kind of gang-like,
Yeah. Like a nice teal leather.
Yeah, I saw her that day. I saw her, and she was all dressed up with pearls and everything. So she looked great.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
We have a good time. We have some fun.
Sunscreen and raincoats. Is that the name of your Vespa club?
No, I can't
Okay.
say the name of my
Oh.
scooter club. It's not suitable for work.
Okay. Hey, I like it already. I like it already. All right, let's keep going here. Overrated, underrated. Hiking.
Ooh. I'm overrated for me. I'm a city girl, so but I know that I'm here in Colorado. I know I am outrated or outvoted
Yeah.
here in the Front Range for sure, because this is like hiking capital of
That
the
is
world.
the hiking capital.
Kara, overrated, underrated.
I think it's overrated too.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's overrated. It's overrated. Go take a hike.
Like-minded folks.
Take a
Yeah, go
hike.
take a hike is right.
Take a hike.
Yeah,
Take
there's
a
like
long walk off a
bobcats
short
and
pier.
stuff out there.
Yeah, I don't even need to know what's out there.
Snakes and stuff.
I'll ride my scooter. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right.
Sheesh. All right, you're 3 for 3 so far here. Here, this one's going to divide you, though.
Uh-oh.
Overrated, underrated television.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait, I'm saying that overrated. I don't watch TV, but I know Cara is a lover.
well, most of the shows that I love are older, but I don't watch them on TV. I watch them on like streaming channels. So I don't really watch.
Is it on a television set?
Yes.
Okay.
That's television.
We're gonna call that. Gonna call that.
Okay,
If it's
and
not
then-
social media and you watch.
What
it,
about
it's
you,
television.
Ben? What about you? Are
What
you a
about
big
you?
TV
I think
watcher?
television is underrated. Call me
What?
old school, but this is the lesser of two evils, right? So back in the day, it was the boob tube, and you sit there and your couch potato, yada yada yada, right? And television was evil, and you got to go read a book, right? Well, nowadays it's the screens, right? It's the iPads and the phones and the whatevers, right? I just sit there and I just watch Love and Relo for hours, and now television actually looks rather social. Now you sit around and y'all watch and you comment together on the show. Look at that, or I didn't know that, or stop talking. The show's on. Whatever it is, it's actually social now. So I prefer television to the other screens.
Plus, I feel like just leisure. I think the cult of busy. Like we don't value leisure time enough these days. So
that's an interesting thought too, because like I kind of agree, but at the same time, like I wouldn't be so quote unquote busy if I didn't have 8 hours of screen time a day.
Oh, right.
That's true.
That's
one way to look at it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, last one up. This one's a divisive one as well. Overrated, underrated. Get in the comments, y'all. How are we doing? Karen says so good. Appreciate you. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. Tell us how we're doing. Feel free to disagree. I love the debate here.
Disagree
last
with
one.
Ben.
Yeah, well, you're about to. Overrated, underrated. The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh. Overrated. Highly overrated. Except the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I like them.
Hey, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage. Okay. All right.
Chicken and egg thing.
Overrated.
Really.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you love the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, you love the Dallas Cowboys. I hate to break it to you.
No, that can't be.
I hate to break it to you. Okay.
No. I'm in Houston.
rejects that.
Yeah, I reject it.
I think the Cowboys are underrated. We're going all the way this year. This is our year. This is our year. It's our year, okay? This is it. Killed the draft, killed the offseason. Great coach. Phenomenal fan base. It's the best. This has been so much fun,
Well,
y'all.
I'll be thinking
really
about you each
appreciate
Sunday
y'all.
this winter, Ben.
Yeah.
So.
Do that. Do that. We're going to go like 12 and 5. What is it, 5? 12 and 5. We're 17 games nowadays. Yeah, we're going 12 and 5. We're going to win the East, actually. Watch out, Philly. We're coming for you. This is great. Sarah, Cara, so much fun. Get in the comments. Let us know how we did. People are also sharing their love for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Daisy's you know what's funny? Daisy's a San Francisco 49ers fan. If I'm like, oh yeah, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, that sounds totally different. Y'all are like, oh, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are great. If I'm like, oh, the Dallas Cowboy, now it sounds terrible if I say it. But y'all are all about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. You know, it's not fair. I can't love me the cheerleaders. Meredith says, love the Cowboys, love the Texans more. Oh, come on,
See,
Meredith.
thank you, Meredith.
Come on, Meredith.
See? That sums it all up.
I'm getting booed right now on my own show. That's great. Karen said they're the cutest. Yeah, I don't know. I just watched the game. Anyway,
Sure.
I don't watch TV. Anyway, this has been great. Sarah, Cara, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben, for having us.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, and thanks everybody who got in the comments. It wouldn't be nearly as much fun without y'all. I really appreciate you. Hit that like button. Tell Sarah and Cara what a great job they did as well, and spread the love out there. And we will see y'all tomorrow, actually. So can't wait.
Nice.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon.